He said, we're going to do something to your brain.
Hello and welcome to Dead Air 16. Hope you're well. Sorry if you're not. This week we're talking about Elon Musk and Linda Yaccarino, World of Warcraft and Cyberpunk, and I suppose first, Israel. How dare you make light of this situation? Go on then, give us the lowdown. Israel is a country in the Middle East. A country is a nation or society of people that have banded together to keep Mongolians out of the walls. So we filmed this on Saturday, so the situation when y'all have seen this is probably different. Hamas in the Gaza Strip not just attacked Israeli settlements like they often do, but also invaded a bit. There are hundreds dead. Different reports, but I see reports saying at least 200 on both sides and thousands injured. Looks like a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And I guess we don't have a lot to say, just, because it's kind of just happened and the situation's ongoing. So.
How old do you have to be when you get up and see something like this and see like headlines of like, this is the biggest one since 1987 and things like that? How old do you have to be to get to the point where you read something like that and go, oh, another war?
I don't think it takes that long. Yeah.
Because there's lots of speculation about what's going to happen now. Because Hamas have obviously, I mean, it's, I suppose, a rare, worldwide rare situation of like, they've attacked knowing that they will lose on like a punitive attack sort of thing, right? Like there's no chance they're going to win an actual war. They're going to, they've always and they will suffer way more losses than Israel. But it's like worth it to them, sort of thing.
Right, I see.
As I understand it.
Huh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you, I think. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see what happens.
I mean, I don't know if you've read anything, but there was a rave in, like near the border of the Gaza Strip in Israel. Like I mean, it's described as a rave, I guess, like a music concert or something with like thousands of people, and they all had to flee and hide.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I haven't really looked at much. I mean, you showed me a couple videos this morning getting ready for this that were pretty crazy looking.
Yeah, the Hamas have taken hostages.
Yeah.
The IDF have just now blown up a big tower block.
Yeah.
People saying, "Oh, it's the worst." They're always kind of fighting a bit, but like North and South Korea, like they're always getting into little skirmishes that just don't make the news. They're not that important, but obviously this is, the biggest one in my lifetime.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Great.
And,
2 wars, God! You're spoiling me.
Yeah, right.
I guess there's probably, there's definitely more than 2 wars.
Yeah.
What else is there? Yemen. Oh, let's list all the wars that we know about going on. I guess the war on drugs is the really big one.
I guess we'll be approaching the war on Christmas soon. Every year.
You mean when NORAD are like, we're going to get the bastard this time? Yeah. Like they've been tracking Santa for 50 years and they've not got him yet. But now they've got like new missiles that can fly just about as fast as his sled. Sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
The war on Christmas. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the war on drugs definitely didn't work, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of the war on drugs, depending on how you look at it, I suppose that it's turned out the same as like the war on poverty, which is war against drug users, war against the poor, not against the conditions that may create those circumstances.
So by those 2 wars, effectively they punish not the existence of poverty or drugs, because there's plenty of them, but for people choosing to do drugs or poverty. Like,
Yeah.
What are you doing over there? You doing a little bit of poverty? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You're going through my bins.
Yeah, more or less. And then, of course, you've got plenty of people ready to jump in, like, wait a minute, I see a crisis here. We can make some money on this.
Are you talking about, what's his name, White Rick?
Oh, no, that's what I was thinking of, but that is an interesting story for sure.
Wait a minute, a thought
White Boy
occurs.
Rick,
People
yeah.
love cocaine.
Genius.
Genius.
Yeah.
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 Well, how did people on the other side then, the not drug side, the anti-drug side, how did they make money?
Well, I mean, there's an argument that there's money to be made, and that doesn't mean that any of those people making money caused the circumstance, but took advantage. Like, I mean, some obvious examples, like for-profit prisons, for-profit juvenile facilities. There is a vested interest in, having people convicted for those things, as evidenced by, the well-known, which, no, we've never done it, have we? The Kids for Cash scandal.
No, weren't we saving it for one of the corruption ones?
I think so, yeah. It's on the list somewhere. It's something to talk about.
Yeah. We were saving that for the criminalization of poverty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. And then, on the anti-drug side, I mean, who makes money? I suppose, certainly drug testing facilities have the ability to make money. LabCorp, that does a lot of them. Every time you have to, whatever it is, pay $50 for a drug test for your job. I mean, you can make the argument that they'd be doing that anyways, but, I mean, there's always, whenever there's a crisis, there's somebody ready to take advantage and try and make some money out of it.
At least somebody.
At least somebody, yeah. Probably many somebodies, even.
Would it be a fair argument to say, in most countries, maybe not most countries, maybe like most Western countries, if you want to do cocaine, you can get it. Mm-hmm. But if it was legal and regulated, it would be cheap. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is that fair? Or would legalizing it,
well,
be like, I never would have considered it before, but I'll just do a little pinch.
I guess it depends. I'm trying to think of, like, the earliest, recreational marijuana. I want to say Colorado was the first. I don't know. And I'm trying to think, like, I want to say that it was generally, like, cheaper at first, and it kind of, like, leveled out a little bit. But, I mean, I don't know what the point of comparison is. But it definitely is going to be safer when there's regulations in place. So.
Yeah, because I know that Portugal has, decriminalized.
Yeah.
Hard drugs. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't. It's not legal to just stand on the street corner going cocaine.
Yeah, I get you, but yeah, you're not gonna.
You got to go to a doctor for that.
Go to jail just for being a user. Yeah, a medical problem, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, didn't it work out all right for them overall? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, statistically it did. Mm-hmm. I mean, they didn't have like an explosion of, rampant drug use like there was in Greece circa 2000 or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, right.
So.
What were we talking about?
Israel, Palestine.
Oh, right.
we both like. Well,
yeah.
It's ongoing.
Yeah,
so
it's ongoing, and this will be out of date by tomorrow probably if we even talk about what's going on right now. So I figure we might as well just wait.
I guess one thing I would say is, again, this is kind of cynical, but because I think the average Israeli, well, obviously the average Israeli or Palestinian is not the government of Israel, is not Hamas who essentially govern the Gaza Strip. They're not making the decisions, but like just in terms of the government leadership ideology, it kind of serves them both well, doesn't it? Mm. It's a really big thing, but yet it feels perennial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get you.
This is the perfect way to continue. I'm not like trying to say there's a conspiracy to do it or anything.
I get you, yeah.
But this is the perfect way to continue the hate.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a conspiracy just to say that, people act within their own interests.
Yeah, I'm not saying Benjamin Netanyahu was like going like, right, so you attack us, right? I'm not, nothing like that, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Well, anything else to say about
The
Israel?
situation needs Superman to come and go, right, that's it, I've had enough. Put it down, put it down.
No, Wonder Woman.
Or Wonder Woman, could be the Hulk.
Wasn't Gal Gadot in the Israeli army? I don't recall.
Is she Israeli?
I thought so.
Well, then she will have either been in the army or another service. Like you can, as far as I know, you can you can choose not to join the army and join your public service. You could be you can be a medic or something like that. You can, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
she's Israeli. I don't know. Maybe I pulled that out of my ass, but I thought so. Anywho.
I've always thought with stuff like that where they make everyone do it, drafting, like obviously it's like, oh well, you're blind, don't worry about it. You know, you're 4'1", don't worry about it. But like, what if I was drafted and it's like I don't have a medical excuse, but I'm incredibly incompetent. Like,
oh, they'll take it. I bet. God, I guess.
You can be on point.
Do you want to mention that article that you read about, or maybe we should save that about what the U.S. government used to do in the military with like super low IQ.
Oh, yeah. There's an interesting article. I can't remember what it's on. It's on something like military.org or something. And it's an article from like about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it and put it in the link.
I think I've got it saved on my phone.
It was an interesting article about pause for my tea, sorry. As the Vietnam War went on, America got really desperate for draftees. So they lowered their IQ acceptance, where they had five levels of IQ, and level 5 was like, I can't remember, like over 140. Like, you need a lab coat, sir. Follow me this way. And then level 4 and level 3 were higher than average or average, sort of broadly, and they were acceptable. And then level 2 was like Forrest Gump. And then like level 1 was like, I mean, people who couldn't open a door without help. Like, very bad. And yeah, they accepted like hundreds and thousands of people who were mentally deficient, and they died, disproportionately, and yeah, it was just shameful.
Yeah.
Just absolutely shameful.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And desperate, and like, oh yeah, we wonder why. Why do all these why aren't these draftees as effective in combat?
Yeah, right. No, I don't want to go. No, now that I'm here, I'll be a model soldier. Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
I guess the feeling is desperation, perhaps. Well, like in that example that you gave, like they were desperate for.
Yeah.
For recruits, so.
Yeah, and when they originally relaxed the rules, there was pushback within the army about this, for both like, well, this is immoral, and more importantly, they're not good at fighting. But it was kind of like, well, don't worry, they'll be in the back, shifting ammunition, and still be dangerous, still wrong, but no.
Yeah, right.
No, a lot of them went straight to the front, and then a lot of them had, like, I suppose, bedraggled commanders who were like, you're going to die anyway, so just, you're at the front now.
Yeah, right.
Right? What's my job? Your job is to shut up and take a bullet.
Yeah.
Thus revealing the enemy's position.
Yeah, right. Black people, don't forget to protect our planes and tanks, too. Like, duct taped over.
Have you heard of the Emancipation Proclamation?
I don't listen to hip-hop.
We've been watching South Park. It's good.
We have been watching some South Park lately. Yeah, I mean, some of that, just to shift gears a bit. Like, I've been enjoying it. We've been watching, like, season 8 right now.
Yeah, we're on season 10 now.
Season 10 now, yeah. Yeah, I remember, like, it's been a while since we've come back to it, and we haven't watched, like, any... I think the last, like, new one that we watched was the Harry and Meghan one, which made me laugh, like, one time.
But the laugh was worth
It was a good laugh. It made me laugh for several days after that, but it could have used more of those. Yeah, your Instagram loving bitch wife. That got me pretty good.
And also my new book. Wow.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, my new book. Wah.
Wow.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, well, I think so, because whenever we've ended up like talking about South Park, you always say like, oh, it really like sucked after like the first like 3-4 seasons.
No.
But that is what you said. Don't listen to him. But there's good stuff. You know, for like, you know, throughout. It just, there get to be more misses.
It started to suck now, occasionally.
Yeah, a bit.
Season 10. I think season 1 to 10 are really good.
Yeah,
like season 1 is like kind of almost like it's been made by a parallel culture. Mm-hmm. Like it's bananas.
Yeah.
And like Cartman is like it's kind of hard to listen to, but it's brilliant.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, there's ups and downs throughout the seasons, but I definitely like episodes where it's like kids being kids.
Me too.
And even when there's like crazy stuff that comes into play there, like, God, what is the one where
like they don't know what sex is? They don't, they don't understand.
Yeah, when they're playing police and then actually like get picked up by the police department's like, we'll give you a junior badge, or like go to this crack house down the street. And they get there and they're like, pew pew pew, and like pretending to do slow mo, like kid stuff. It's cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun revisiting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't planning to talk about South Park. Just came up. Been quoting it a lot. So.
Did you have a favorite gun noise when you were a kid?
A favorite gun noise? I mean, pew pew is pretty good. No, I mean, I didn't really play at guns a lot as a kid. I'll say. I mean, when I played with other kids, when that happened. I'm trying to think. God, we used to play Power Rangers like in elementary school.
Did that involve like everyone getting in one big suit?
No, but there's
How did you do that?
But there's like just pretend. But there's like 10 Red Rangers and like 8 Green Rangers. Do you know what I mean? Because everybody wants to be them.
Oh right.
And there's like 5 Pink Rangers. I always wanted to be the Scorpion Lady.
I always wanted to be the Black Ranger.
Yeah.
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 That's my color.
Yeah, I like the color black too.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No matching required.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. What did you play as a kid?
Yeah, stuff like that. I remember playing like Metal Gear Solid with my kid, where I'd like pretend to patrol with a kid, with a friend, where I'd like pretend to patrol and he'd pretend to like snap my neck. Yeah. Shit like that.
Oh, I get it, yeah. No, I definitely played Metal Gear Solid as well a bit, but more like by myself. Like,
did you?
Like going to the grocery store with my mom and being like, there's a camera there, so what I gotta do is go down this way and block it, and
don't forget the trapdoor.
The cone of vision is about like here, so yeah, just kid stuff.
Yeah. Wasn't
that a great fucking game?
Yeah, with blind genome soldiers with like cones of vision like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Were we talking about Israel?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Yeah. Okay. What was next on the list?
Well, look at the Middle East. What a mess. How does he keep up with the news like that?
Yeah, that was a pretty classic joke. Do you remember how Jared Kushner brought peace to the Middle East?
Well, that's why he's not... That's why we don't have it now, because it's...
Because he left.
No, it's not just because he left. It's, what's his name? White Nose Biden. Biden's son. He's doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in that position, the peace position. Peace master.
The peace master.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I could bring peace to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have to, like, forgive me.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I could do it without firing a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, I need about $4 trillion. So that's the blocker, really.
Isn't it always?
And then what I'd do is I'd set up a massive network of satellites and they'd have like really thick industrial silly string. Right, and anytime anybody looked at anybody or wasn't even nice to anybody, it'd be like that episode of Milkshake and Fries, where what's his name? Douglas, not Douglas.
What are you talking
You know
about?
that guy, Alan.
Alan! I don't know what you're talking about.
That episode of Aquatine where Matt Berry doing the voice is like, everyone has to be nice to each other or I'll exterminate you.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't exterminate anyone. I'd just drop like shitloads of like really heavy like fire foams. It'd be like a club. I'd turn Israel into like a club like full of foam.
Glitter.
That would stop people fighting.
Just annoy people so much that I can't be bothered to fight, yeah.
Someone says anything remotely political, it doesn't even have to be about Israel-Palestine. It could be like, we need to get a better road authority. No, stop. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, 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 woo. Take a flower.
Have a flower.
Yeah.
Here's a cupcake. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, humanity.
Yeah, or you could, sprinkle the area with oxy. Non-stop. Oh, there goes Lebanon. Yeah, anyway.
Anywho, yeah. Next?
Yeah.
Next, Twitter drama, Elon Musk, Linda Yaccarino.
Twitter drama?
Well, there is some drama involved, but it's more just baffling.
Now I'm imagining like 1940, like newspapers, New York Times, newspapers in America in 1940 being like, what do you think about all this drama over in Europe? Should we get involved in that, eh?
They might have been like that. Yeah. Yeah, more like just baffling business decisions. So pretty much any story that's been about Twitter since Musk took over. And I'm sure there was some before, but yeah.
Who is Elon Musk again?
That guy.
Oh.
That working class guy that only cares about reducing carbon emissions.
I don't think
making
even he's
electric
saying
cars,
that, is he?
He used to talk about the environment a lot more when he was just doing Tesla. But, I mean, I don't know enough about the history of, like, various comments and things that he's done, but he's definitely, like, I think, from what I have seen from him now, he's on the side of, like, climate change, is real, but it's way overblown and not such a big deal, more or less. So, but, anywho, so we watched, there was an interview with Linda Yaccarino, the new CEO of Twitter.
Newish.
Newish, yeah.
What was it on? Recode, or did I make that up?
Something. Probably, if you just search Linda Yaccarino Twitter interview, it's probably going to be like the first thing that comes up.
It was at a tech conference,
It was a
wasn't
tech conference, yeah.
I thought the interviewer, I can't remember her name, unfortunately. I remember her name, but she was really good.
Yeah, she was really good, yeah. She kind of like did not let her escape from stuff, but, so...
And she tried.
Yeah, she sure tried.
Well, go on then.
Yeah, so I just saw something this morning. Yaccarino was saying, like, during the interview, like, most of our advertisers have come back. The ones who, were like, everyone was saying we're leaving Twitter, kind of just after he took over and announced that, all the hate speech is coming back. They kind of lost a lot of advertisers straight away. And she was saying, well, like, they're all back now. 90% of them are back. And there was an analysis from Media Matters that looked at their total ad revenue and its change over time from, like, pre-Musk to, like, now. And there was some interesting stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, about 90% of them are back, but they're not spending the same. So there were some examples I thought were really funny. So in the last 4 months, they found that Visa spent $10 on Twitter advertising versus the 4 months before Musk took over, it was $77,000. AT&T in the last 4 months spent $800 advertising on Twitter, and in the 4 months before he took over, it was close to $2 million. So technically correct.
So
They
the
returned.
HBO one, read that again.
Oh yeah, I'll have to just pull that up. I left it right here because that was a pretty good one too. Sorry for the tip.
HBO, what does HBO stand for then? His Basie Overtures.
Basie Overtures. The 4 months. Okay, so the last 4 weeks. 4 months. The last 4 months, HBO spent $23,500 on advertising. In the 4 months before he took over, it was $28 million. So they're back, yeah, but the spending is way down. They estimated, these are estimates, of course. They estimated that Twitter ad revenue, like overall, from the last 4 months compared to the 4 months before he took over, is about 50% of what it was. So there's still advertising, plenty of advertising on Twitter. But it could also explain why
HBO cut their spending to 0.1% of what it was.
That's, whatever it is, yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
But I've been seeing loads of ads for THC gummies, and for sign up for our church and send us money, and we'll tell you stuff about Jesus. I've seen...
I think there was some sort of book about Jesus.
I tell you what, I still see loads of McDonald's ads on Twitter, and those are great. I click on those every time. Because it'll literally just be like 1,000 comments of like, your fries fucking suck, why are they always cold? And they respond to like every single one. Like, oh, we're sorry that you experienced that. Our fries
Does anyone come at them with anything real?
No, just more or less
why did you do this, or why did you fund this?
Not really, no. I mean, that's the more interesting stuff.
It's about, my fries were fucking cold, rather than, your business practices are garbage.
Yeah.
You're run by garbage human beings.
But I'll take what I can get.
Sure.
So, it's
but,
amazing.
The problem with McDonald's isn't that it's shit. That's the fucking product.
Yeah.
Is that it's shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, look, cheap shit.
Yeah, that's the product.
You're poor and hungry, right? And fast.
It's not as cheap as it fucking used to be, let me tell you. God. Some of that shit's insane now. $5 for a Big Mac? What the shit? You can buy a pound of beef for that.
Yeah. That was the whole point of McDonald's. You go and spend £1 on...
Yeah. I mean, I guess, I'm pretty sure that the reason that fast food is still, super prevalent is more to do with, time and convenience,
Well, yeah.
Of course, You
don't think McDonald's would work if it was, a sit-down surface?
Yeah, I mean,
What?
Nothing. I got nothing else to say about McDonald's.
Okay.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of that today. So, yeah, that was the first main Twitter drama. Advertisers are back. Lindy Yaccarino being very misleading about how Twitter is doing.
I tell you should watch the interview she did. It should be shown to business classes, especially business classes on how to talk to people.
PR marketing, relevant stuff.
She came across... Have you ever seen Downfall?
That's tickling my memory, but...
It's the film, 2004, I think, starring Bruno Ganz as Hitler in, the last days in his bunker, where he's, losing his mind. And there's a bit in it where Himmler tries to, on his own, tries to sort of, negotiate a surrender with the Allies, even though the Russians are in Berlin. And he's talking to someone and he's saying... Now, when I meet, I think it might be Eisenhower, but when I meet the Allies, should I shake their hand or give a Nazi salute? And the guy he's talking to is like, dude, they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
It's Endgame.
Yeah, right.
That was months ago where you could have done that. You're fucked.
Yeah, right.
It sort of felt a bit like that. I'm not comparing it to a Nazi.
No, I understand, but I get what you're saying.
No.
Hyper defensive and just, I don't know.
If I didn't think Twitter was sinking before that interview, I do now.
Yeah.
She was shitting her pants.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I can't believe that you can get that old. She's 58 or something. As an executive, a professional business person, where, every job you've had for the last 20 years, you're getting paid $1 million plus. I can't believe you can get to that and have those skills. It was pathetic.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And again, to reiterate, interviewer really good. Didn't let her off the hook. When she tried to pivot away and circle away from questions, she'd bring it back, and good stuff. But yeah, interview.
She was so defensive, wasn't she?
Yeah, defensive. Anxious. I mean, just gets. I don't know what to say.
Also, in 20 years, people like her in her position will dress exactly like the people in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like it almost used to be like these corporate types would wear a suit, a really nice suit, and it'd still be a class signifier, but you could be a lawyer, in the same suit. You could be, it's just a professional. But the like corporate executives have like their own fashion now.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, like what she was wearing, I would describe that to a T as like corpo.
Yeah, I get you. Corpo. Yeah. Something with as little personality as possible.
No, I disagree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's got personality. It's just like No, it's not as little personality really, because as little personality would be like as what I'm wearing now, like a T-shirt or something with like no collar or color. No, I mean it's it's really quite opulent and decadent. Just sort of done in a very conformist way.
Like a very muted way, perhaps.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not as muted as your standard suit you might see a cop wearing. You can see the difference in the suits that cops wear, and lawyers wear, and like senior executive types wear. A little bit, not everyone.
Right. Okay.
Like, look, a cop is never going to wear like a blue suit with pinstripes.
That guy from the FBI would.
Wear a gold
suit.
Yeah.
May have been wearing a gold suit.
Got it made out of amaranth fibers, completely bulletproof. Yeah.
Okay. Next bit?
Yeah.
So then the other thing going on with Twitter this week is Musk announced that they were removing the feature to basically Twitter stopped showing the headline of news articles that you post through links. Like you can still like manually type in a headline, but you can't just write like a comment and then put the link in, and then a headline will come up with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought this was really dumb, so loads of people were posting like random ass articles about Elon Musk and saying, like this just in, Elon Musk is a pedo. And, because then the picture just comes up and it shows like New York Times or Reuters, but not the headline. And this was just like, a big joke basically.
Why have they done that?
He said to improve readability, I guess, which I guess is also the reason that he's announced they're going to get rid of like like counts, and
until you click on the tweet.
Like engagements until you click on the tweet.
You can still see it.
To improve readability. So interesting along those lines. I guess he did not like that. Mr. Free Speech doesn't like being made fun of. Makes his poor little pee-pee hurt. So everyone's talking about how he banned a number of accounts. Like Pudding Person is one of them, who did this, who would link an article basically just saying like Elon Musk decides to remove article headlines from Twitter, and with like the comment of Elon Musk is a pedo. And the account got suspended like within hours. And then somebody put it back up, and then it was back down like within hours. And there are several of these, and now Twitter is like a flood with people trying to get around the rules. Like I keep seeing people post things like, it is, just so you know, it is against Twitter's terms and rules and now illegal to say that Elon Musk is a pedophile. I can say that because I'm just reporting to you that it's not okay to say that Elon Musk is a pedophile. Just, normal Twitter shit, like, just big fuck yous back and forth, but kind of amusing. I mean, this is the guy who had a whole court case around, the idea that he could call a hero a pedophile, and that's totally fine because it's free speech, but,
Yeah.
not free speech in Muskland.
Good old Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying that I couldn't. I could, it's even newsworthy to say that. Well, Tom, there is no evidence that he's a pedophile, but a lot of people are saying that he is a pedophile. Mm-hmm. Take that as you will.
Take that as you will. Some people say. Yeah. We should probably stop using that word from this point forward. Based on, how YouTube's been, I guess. Yes.
What about him wanting to make it a subscription model? Because Lindy Iaccarino didn't want to answer that one either.
Yeah, I can't quite recall. What did she say? That she didn't think it was a good idea at first, or I can't recall.
I mean, she more or less said to everything, like, how dare you ask me that? Do you know who I am?
I mean, the main thing I remember from that interview was just the amount of, just take a breath.
Yeah.
Calm down.
You never see the audience, but you can totally feel them.
Oh, yeah, like, there's a bit where she's like, and Twitter is doing amazing things, and you hear, like, 4 people clap.
And who wouldn't want to work beside Elon Musk? And a number of people put their hands up.
Yes! Yes, people put their hands up, yeah.
And she's obviously annoyed by that.
So what is, here's my question.
You don't mean that. Yeah, sorry.
My question is, what is the real purpose? I mean, maybe it is just weird. Maybe he just does think that way. Like, this is hard to read when I have to read things, so we'll leave him off. Like, what's the real reason to not include headlines? Because the main criticism that people have is that it's going to, like, make misinformation, disinformation stuff worse, because you can just do, for example, what we're doing right here. Putting a random article with no headline turning up and then saying whatever we want, because people are dumb and like to read just headlines, Like, the criticism is, more along the lines of, like, a lot of headlines can be clickbaity, and don't actually say what's, like, in the article. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just not sure what the real reason is for getting rid of that. To not see any title at all for what the article is. Any theories?
Yes, I think so. I think that Elon Musk had a very, very difficult and abusive childhood, and he's very clever, at least traditionally, in terms of logic, and he was rewarded and reinforced for that because that's what school is. Can you answer these questions, especially the hard sciences? He was rewarded for that and told he was very clever, and he is very clever, but he's emotionally stunted and lonely as fuck.
And I'd say impulsive.
And impulsive,
sure.
And that's what this is. This is him playing with it. And if he was running it properly, in terms of he owns a lot. He owns like 40% of Tesla. He controls it. He owns SpaceX. He's got other shit to do that he's not doing. It's a bit like Benito Mussolini getting involved in, like, redesigning Italian police uniforms. Like, delegate that. You don't need to be doing that.
Yeah. I think I get what you're saying, yeah.
Like, he's highly impulsive, and there's deep issues that he's not willing to confront. And I suspect on top of that, he's a real greedy, selfish sack of shit. So. Yeah,
I mean, that's about what I think, yeah.
Same as it fucking ever was.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, we could be talking about Daniel Plainview. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I'm no business major, but if I were him, I would definitely be trying to like delegate some things and keep the big picture in mind, versus like what I suspect is happening, which is like he calls somebody at 2 a.m. and says, we're doing this tomorrow because I think it's a good idea, and then everybody has to scramble to work out how to do this thing that really like nobody is asking for, nobody wants. I haven't seen a single thing in support. Doesn't mean it's not there, but I think pretty much everybody agrees this is a dumb idea. But like, no, I think it's good, so it's done. It's good.
If you look at it from like his motivations with Twitter are nothing to do with profit. Like he's very mercurial, but he's not like completely blind to that. He makes enough money from, his other ventures and just trading in stock and all of that, and I think that Tesla is incredibly overvalued, really, for their output and everything, but not overvalued to the point where it's not worth anything. It's influential, but it's a car company. SpaceX, take us to the moon, take us to the stars, but that's a long way away, even optimistically. But how can you, influence now? Twitter. It's not about money, is it? It's Citizen Kane losing his $1 million a year on the newspaper, but it's worth it to him.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
I seem to remember in Citizen Kane as well, he says, like, yes, I lost $1 million on my newspaper, and I could do that for 60 years. Like, Citizen Kane's worth $60 million. Pittance.
Yeah, right.
And he builds Xanadu and everything.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, none of that's really important.
Does that, any of that make sense? I mean, I know all of that is armchair psychology.
Armpit psychology.
Armpit psychology.
No, I understand. I get what you. Armchair psychology. I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Us but that's psychiatrists, we're not professionals. But I mean, what I see just from my layman, just my opinion view, is somebody who really wants to be loved more than anything else.
Tannenbaum.
Yeah, but also wants to always get his way and be uncompromising. And it's really difficult to have a loving relationship, for example, with that kind of dynamic.
And again, this is kind of morbid, I suppose. But, and this is a long way away, but I'll be more interested in Elon Musk after he dies and we see what happens in terms of his companies, in terms of the fight over them. That would be interesting.
The succession crisis.
The succession crisis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with any of them, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Part of me, got sympathy for him,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to eat all of the kids so they don't overthrow him. And then one of them, young Zeus 12, cuts his belly open and he becomes Zeus.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. Want to move on?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Next, okay, so somebody asked in the comments on the last Dead Air if we could talk about the comments on the Joe Dispenza video. I can't remember the exact phrase they used, that shit was crazy, something like that.
Yeah.
Not a lot to say, but that shit is crazy. And alarming. And,
I find it funny.
No, I mean, it is funny, but it's also, sad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, if you didn't watch the video and you don't know, Joe Dispenza is a chiropractor who calls himself Dr. Joe Dispenza, who used to be part of the Ramtha School, used to teach there even, which is all about, using your mind to heal stuff and also get us rich while you do it. And he has seminars and books and stuff where he more or less tells people you can think your way out of having cancer or broken bones I can teach you how if you give me $2,000, that kind of thing. And there were shitloads of comments on that video. I'd never heard of the guy.
Until we came across him and
Yeah,
watched a video about him.
I think just a few days before we decided to do the video, I just read like an article that was about it, and I was like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You read it, and we're like, oh shit, yeah, let's do that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, but loads of comments, just people like, what you'd expect, you know.
Well, there were loads of comments at the beginning that were not that, right?
Normal viewer comments, yeah. But if you look at the, like on the analytics, yeah, you've got like the graph, you know, like here's our returning viewers. Well, it looks pretty normal. And then there's like a thing starting to go like this of non-returning viewers. So I don't know where they're seeing it. I assume that it's just people like who are really into him and they just Google Joe Dispenza like all the time.
Yeah.
And look for like a talk or something from him and they came across this and were like, oh
Outraged.
my God, how dare you? You know, yeah, there is a part of me that looks at that and would like to think that some of these are bots, but I
don't think so.
I don't think that it is. Yeah. But the parts that I think are worth talking about, because I don't have a lot to say, but what I found the most fascinating was how many different of those comments included something to the effect of, you've clearly been paid off by Big Pharma, you've clearly are a shill for George Soros.
Was George Soros actually one?
That was actually one, yeah. I think I might have seen that a few times, actually.
Isn't George Soros worth like 30 times less than Elon Musk?
I don't know what it is now, yeah. I'm pretty sure the disparity is pretty big, but
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you for sure.
Just saying, like, it's always Soros. There are other billionaires.
Yeah,
I could be
but he's not
paid off
but,
by a Mexican
but not
telecom
Jewish
billionaire that
billionaires.
you've never heard of.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's hilarious, and the reason I did want to bring it up is because we just did the conspiracy theories video that went public yesterday, so it was just interesting to think back to how many conspiratorially aligned comments there were there. Like, people were really, they're not all like that, clearly not. A lot of people are just like, well, he helps people, so how can you be mad at him? But there are a lot of them that are like, you're clearly, but how much money did Big Pharma pay you to do this?
You don't really believe this.
You don't really believe it. Yeah, stuff like that. You're the liar. This video is a fraud.
Oh, what about the one that was like, I'm going to report you to the FTC.
Oh, that was really funny. Yeah, I like that. Go ahead. FTC.
Yeah. Little does he know that the FTC hotline leads straight to my cell phone. Hello, FTC.
Yeah.
No, I'm not interested.
We are the FTC.
Do not call back.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, I control them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you have to say about all that?
I mean, it's interesting that the comments, if you go through them, there are so many like angry comments.
Yeah.
But we didn't lose any subscribers. We gained.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, that's
it only
always
helps me, really.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, thanks guys for all the negative comments, because it's good for the algorithm, so,
Yeah.
negative or positive.
And I think what's funny is I don't really remember it that well.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember anything that well. But I remember holding back. Mm-hmm. I hold back on all these people.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
I know. I'm shooting with him, so there's plenty of bits that don't make it to the video that are just for me behind the camera.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take anything back about Joe Dispenza. He's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
Right here, buddy.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I don't know what kind of fucking lowlife you have to be to...
Joe Dispenza.
So I think I even saw a comment in there, this was ages ago, like not long after it first went up, where somebody was saying that they knew somebody who was into Joe Dispenza and they didn't get a treatment that they needed or something, and that they died like 3 months later.
There's got to be loads
that.
of that.
Is garbage. Yeah, go fuck yourself, buddy. And I don't know how anybody could see that stuff and think like, well, I have allergies and he stopped me from sneezing by telling me I should think about it, so it worked for me. So yeah, you don't need chemotherapy. You don't need spinal surgery. What the fuck?
Yeah, the best explanation is in the randy.com page on Joe Dispenza, where it basically says, like, especially with things like back injuries.
Yeah, because just for reference, if you haven't seen it, he claimed that he got into doing all of this because he was in an awful accident, like in the 80s, and he was told that he should get spinal surgery or he could die, and he decided not to do that and use the power of his mind, and he healed his spine. So, and then this article, go ahead.
It makes clear, I mean, it's written, I think, by like a spinal doctor.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And,
definitely someone who's more credentialed than Joe Dispenza wrote it.
Saying, like, sometimes back problems do sort themselves out. Not often.
And bones do heal themselves. That's,
yeah.
The idea of, like, you break your arm, the reason you don't just leave it and let it heal is that it'll misalign and heal improperly.
Yeah.
You set it and then allow it to heal properly.
Yeah.
So you don't have problems later.
And, I mean, I think even this is giving him too much credit. But, like, if Christina broke her arm and we were in the middle of the woods in apocalyptic land and there was no doctors, I could probably set it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I could probably set it and maybe you'd be okay. But I'm not a doctor. And if I just start doing that here and I start doing it perfectly fine, that's wrong. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you can do it and it work out sometimes. Well, you shouldn't be doing it.
There's also the good old conspiracy theory problem of, like, remembering the hits and forgetting the misses. I saw, it's like I saw a video where somebody said that, they, like, one of them was like, I saw a video where somebody said their blindness was cured. Okay, so there is such a thing as spontaneous, like, there are spontaneous, like, shit that can happen where, like, your eyesight can come back and stuff like that. But what about the however many thousands of times that he was wrong? You just remember, it's the bias is self-serving.
Yeah.
You remember the positive things that reinforce what you already believe, and you forget or don't notice the ones that don't.
And he hooks you in with certain truths.
Yeah.
Like, what's really good if you feel anxious? Yeah, meditating for half an hour a day.
Yeah, meditation
can't help. It's nothing to do with his hokum.
Yeah, you can learn how to meditate. That stuff's on the internet for free. Go on YouTube. You can find all kinds of guided meditation shit for free. You don't have to go to his retreat in, like, the Netherlands or something and pay, like, $5,000 for him to put, like, stuff to measure your brain waves and say, like, now I'm curing your cancer.
You don't need to learn how to meditate. Just go and sit somewhere. It's just, it doesn't. It's not yoga. Yoga and meditation, different things.
Yeah, I mean, and it depends, what it is. Like, mindfulness meditation, I find very useful on occasion, if you're, like, an anxious person, to be able to just focus in, like, the moment. Like, there's good stuff there. But it's a leap to go from meditation can be helpful to some people to then you don't need your cancer medication, and
yes, of course.
And then there's a lot of like cores of truth. Yeah, he talks about, like, stress is bad for you. Stress is bad for your immune system. It is, but trying to be less stressed is not going to cure your broken spine or your cancer. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
If you're too stressed for a long period of time, that can be bad for your heart. If you're having a heart attack, the answer is not to stop and meditate. It's call a fucking doctor. Sorry.
Anything else to say about those comments then?
No, just it was fascinating too. I revisit them every now and then because it's just baffling. But what can you do? Please get medical care if you need it. You can still meditate, you can, if you want to even tell yourself that it's quantum mechanics that's healing you at the doctor's office, fine.
It makes way more sense, doesn't it? He's a multi-millionaire, but I'm the fraud.
Yeah. You know how many times we've done retreats, thousands of dollars to come to our house and we'll teach you how to cure your cancer. 0.
Yep.
And I don't think it needs to be said, we've never been paid by anybody for any video unless you count ad revenue from YouTube and Patreon. Thank you, Patreon.
Thank you, Patreon. Go on, huff a bag of shit, Joe Dispenza.
Eat a dick. That is my prescription. Alright, next. Can we take a brief break?
Sure.
I have to use the bathroom.
5 minutes later.
So, up next we have Wheel of Time.
That's right, yep. This will be quick and easy. I hate it. It sucked.
Oh, Tippy Taps.
Tippy Taps.
Coming back over to give his opinion on Wheel of Time. Remember when he was whining at it because he thought it was boring?
Yeah, but remember when we were watching was it Reptile? Was that it? We were watching
I
with
hate that.
Benicio del Toro. It was alright.
No,
but,
he hated that.
Yeah, he did. Yes, it was actually pretty funny.
The
'cause
dog hated Reptile with Benicio del Toro.
We were watching it on the couch. Dog was sitting next to us with his head, I think, on your lap, just like, going, and then it was annoying, so you'd pause it, silence, push play.
All of the watch is Trailer Park Boys.
He does like Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, he does. He likes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see him watching the TV.
Especially when Bubla Hara's on.
He does like Booblahara. Spirit animal. Bubbles. Anywho, yeah, any thoughts? Wheel Time Season 2. I'm starting to think I won't make you watch the third one because I'm just kind of so...
I'll make you watch the third one.
You'll make me watch the third one?
Yeah.
Why?
To teach you a lesson.
You don't enjoy me watching it, being like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually enjoyed the last episode of Season 2 more than any other episode.
There were actually some moments I liked.
I liked the whole Matt with the knife spear thing.
Yeah. Well, they had Matt actually acting like Matt.
Yeah.
For one bit, yeah.
And I like all the kids. They're good. And yeah, just...
Yeah.
I didn't hate it as much as you did.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Well, I'm obviously biased, so I can't. It's hard for me. Like I try to separate like what I perceive as just general like show quality, like the same thing I would apply to just about any show, versus what I know like the good story is and why they decided so much to not do that. Just some baffling choices. Do you remember, I'm going to say it was like one of like second or third to the last episode. I don't know, that there's a lot of blending together. But do you remember the, what's the disease where you have no hair on your body?
Alopecia.
Alopecia. Do you remember that seeing the Aes Sedai alopecia? Yeah, you were like, there's no Ho Hank.
Yeah.
Why was that there? Yeah. Nothing bad against people with
Lady had
alopecia.
alopecia.
It's a little bit distracting. You know.
That was fine.
You know.
Well, that was fine. She was just in the background, looking like dementia. But what about Pennywise as the commander of that ship?
Yes.
Like dressed like Pennywise.
I don't know what they were thinking with that. Yeah, playing Sarath of the Shan-Shan, who is like a really, in the books, quite a like spooky character. She's very like stern and like, you know, like hard, like a hard person. You know, just like a battle commander. You know what I mean? And then in this, they're like, let's like put her in some goofy ass makeup and have like an obvious bald cap, and then you know like the hairstyle like in the book, like the Shan-Shan of like that rank. Not that anybody cares. It's like the sides of your head are shaved, so there's like just like this crest going down the back. Well, what if we did that, you guys? But then we also shaved it up to about here. Wouldn't that be cooler? It's so distracting. She looks like Pennywise.
She looks like an acid.
And then like
Elizabeth I.
This goofy performance, which some people in the series do like a really goofy performance and it works.
Leandro.
Leandrin, yeah.
I wouldn't say goofy, but
it is pretty extra, and it works for her. She makes it work. And same with Iman Valda, black guy, white cloak.
Right.
Very hello. Like it works what he's doing. But there's also a lot of shit that just does not work. So yeah.
Any thoughts on the season as a whole?
Just a shame. A shame that, you know, they decided to keep nothing really about the series. And the bits that I think actually like are pretty good is where it is like very much like the book. You know, like when Egwene, like toward the end of the season finale, is like stands up for herself and it's like she's like being told like fire into this crowd and there's like white cloaks there and she's like, and you were like, yeah, that's cool. You know, like she's happy to like kill some motherfucking white cloaks. That's Book of Egwene.
Yeah, but I was also like cheering on the white cloaks.
I know you were like the white cloaks are the real heroes here.
Yeah, kill those Aes Sedai witches. Yeah, hunt them down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it all men in the white cloaks?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds boring.
Yeah, it's all men.
Who am I going to talk to?
I don't think there's a rule against women. It's just like, I don't know if it's ever said or anything like that. But
just women are like this smell.
They're definitely all men, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know,
all the white cloaks are like like shaving each other's backs and like rubbing olive oil into each other, and like, why don't women ever want to join us?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, there definitely are book readers who also think the White Cloaks are heroes.
Yeah.
Are White Cloaks, yeah.
Oh, white cloaks. Okay, cool.
On Reddit, yeah.
Yeah, Sauron did nothing wrong.
Sauron did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't have a lot to say. Just, yeah, I'm not really interested in sticking around for the third season. I decided I'd wait through. I'd see. You shush. It's just it's just frustrating to watch, and I don't know.
Did you like Reptile?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I didn't really like the ending.
The ending undid a lot of good feelings I had about it. But
Yeah.
up until the ending,
Yeah.
I liked it. I like Justin Timberlake as a...
Yeah, I like Benicio del Toro as a kind of tortured cop who, just really wants to get these guys. He's pretty damn good in it. Pretty subtle in a lot of his acting, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still being Benicio del Toro, but...
I kind of... I mean, it's sort of the same with Wheel of Time. It's not a big criticism, but I kind of wish some of these things... I get with TV why it's like this more, but I wish that with something like Reptile, where it's got... I wouldn't say like a completely unconventional script, but it definitely doesn't spoon feed you, and there's nuance and stuff.
And a lot of it's pretty quiet, and just like people... like doing police work and stuff in like a non-flashy sort of way. I
just wish that it just looks and feels so by the numbers. I just wish it had more flavour in terms of the way it looked. Like, it's perfectly competent. It's well shot and everything. It's just, the actual goings on are so moody.
It could have done with more moody, like, cinematography. I know what you mean.
Like, I'm not saying make it into a noir.
No, I get you, but like, I was thinking how, not in every scene, but a lot of scenes, things look really washed out. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've been desaturated. And I just don't know if that really worked. Like, I kind of would prefer something a little more, almost like slightly more like noir in like how it's shot even. Not like a lot, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little more style.
More noir?
Just more something more moody with the way that it's shot, because it is, the tone of it otherwise is pretty moody. I know. But overall it was alright.
Yeah. I mean, I guess really what I mean is I wish it had been shot any other way well than this, which was good. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, it seemed a bit uninspired, I suppose is the word I'm looking for. And a lot of films now with like decent scripts and decent acting sort of seem to miss that. I don't know why. Or if well, I mean, not all of them, obviously. Maybe I'm just an old fart. In my day, people would make films with their thumb on the viewfinder to make it harder, right? And and oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. But I don't know, it was alright for what was it on? It's like I want to say it was like an HBO thing or Netflix, whatever it was on. It was alright.
Channel 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Fox Saturday morning cartoons.
Yep. Do you want to talk about your new obsession?
Oh, hardly.
Wow.
Yeah, so I said last time that, like, we were checking out a little bit of WoW on free trial, and I decided to keep playing for a bit. It's been fun. They've changed a lot of stuff that makes it a little less tedious than it was last time I was playing. A lot of, like, UI changes and stuff that are, like, really good ideas and should have been there from the get-go. Like, automatic reordering of quests in your little list on the side, depending on how close you are. Like, you move into a certain place and then it, like, reorders it to, like, your number one quest, and the one that your marker is sending you to is the one that you're, like, closest to. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
First time with a flying mount. That's really convenient, kind of a game changer.
Yeah.
Kind of
a massive map,
kind of a different game. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, I mean, massive and no loading screens unless you're leaving, like, a continent.
Yeah, and you can visit all of the continents.
Yeah.
Yeah, because did you enjoy Pandera bread?
Yeah, I decided to check out Pandaria, as I would say it as an American, but as they say in the game, Pandaria.
Appalachia.
Yeah, all I gotta say really is, Pandaria. Pretty racist. It's but it's a cute world, and I've been enjoying playing the quests there.
Is it like pandas with big teeth and
No, it's like panda people, but they do have little eyes, and they're quite stout.
lenticular hats?
Yep, they totally got those. They've got like what I'm assuming are just designed to look like Chinese characters, like on their clothing and stuff. And there's like pagodas and
They're into calligraphy and stuff. And
cherry blossoms and the herbs that you can find for picking, green tea leaves and poppies.
And when people are being evasive, do they say, "I can't tell you because it's an ancient panda secret"?
It's not that far off from stuff like that, yeah. But it's also cute. I mean, the pandas are pretty cute.
Racism
Like,
is fine as
you
long
have-
as it's cute. Look at leprechauns.
Right. I know, I'm saying it's racist, but I still think that it's a fun map to play on. It's lush and like giant bamboo forests, but it's also hilarious. Like I had a sequence where I had to go get like kung fu training from a panda, and it's like so ridiculous. So the first part of the mission is telling me about how to meditate and be focused, and I have to go to like a shrine to meditate. So you have to sit there and like this little thing is really dumb and easy. Like this thing comes up, you have to hit the button at the time that it's at full focus. And the whole time this like obese panda dude is walking in a circle around you, like banging pots together, going like, "Good job, you get it now. You learn fast." And then another one is like another little sequence kind of like that where he wanted me to go get him some eggs from various animals. It's still a bit grindy with some of that stuff, but like this will help us in training. And then I get back and it's like me like doing like a kung fu stance on top of a rock while he's throwing eggs at my head. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a cute, silly world. And yeah, obese pandas like flying like Neo in the Matrix, doing like flying sidekicks into the sun and stuff. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. It's amusing.
Good.
Yeah, they made it way easier to solo. That's for sure.
I stopped playing like level 12.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's not really my thing. I'm not into MMOs or hack and slash, which is kind of a little bit.
It's less like that. The further you go on, it's way more strategic.
Okay.
But at the beginning, it's very much like go kill 10 boars. Crash, crash, crash. I get you.
Yeah, I mean, I like the rogue play style of, sneaking around and, doing combos and eviscerating.
We played as rogues.
I could get into it again, but I didn't because I bought Cyberpunk for half price, I think.
Yep, after all the
sale. The
Starfield video, after all of the...
There's my game budget gone. Yeah,
for the next 2 years. Yeah, there were so many comments on the Starfield video talking about how Cyberpunk is so much better now, and that because it was, from what I recall, I hadn't played it, but when it came out, it was like kind of a shit show in terms of the game feeling unfinished and stuff like that. But
especially for people on PS5.
Right. Okay.
It almost didn't run. Like people on PS5 were saying things like, "I haven't got it modded or anything, and it won't load."
Yeah.
Now I've got like 20 hours into it, and my save is broken for some reason. And yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
It's very bad.
But yeah, so many people said that it's like way better now, and if you want, because one of the points you made in the Starfield video is about how a big problem with it is kind of the lack of flavor.
That was the main point.
It's like quite sterile. The world is like so bland, and a lot of people are saying that Cyberpunk is really good for having a lot more flavor, so you should check it out. So you did.
Yes.
And
what a revelation
how's
that
it going?
was. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're right about that. I mean, I got it right after the update 2.0 came out. So I'd probably have quite different feelings about it if I played it when it came out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I think if people are still kind of like salty about Cyberpunk because they bought it at the beginning, I get that.
Yeah, maybe return to it. No, yeah.
But now, I mean, it's my game of the year so far. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I have fun, like, just looking kind of, as I said, our computers are, like, right next to each other, our little, like, station. So I'll be, like, playing my game, and I can just kind of glance over and see what you're up to. And, man, it looks like it's dripping with personality.
Yes.
You know? Like, last night, where you're talking about...
Lizzie.
You were talking about Keanu Reeves in your head. Like, you give him control.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's supposed to, like, go talk to somebody for a mission.
Yeah.
and he just like goes and gets drunk.
He goes to
and
the
it's,
bar where they're at, but he doesn't get to like. She's like 20 meters away. He doesn't get there. He just starts pounding drinks.
Yeah, like spilling shit. And
Yeah.
you're like, it sounds like an interesting character.
Yeah, it's so it's set in the year 2077, Cyberpunk 2077, but it's an alternate world 2077. And yeah, you play like almost everyone in the world has some sort of cybernetics, and you play a mercenary called V who ends up with Johnny Silverhand in his head because of a number of reasons. And
And who is Johnny Silverhand?
Keanu Reeves. This is Johnny Silverhand.
And what's his backstory?
His backstory is that he's a rock star turned terrorist. Like, he's a rock star turned terrorist who blew up an enormous tower belonging to the biggest corporation in Night City, Arasaka. He blew it up with a nuclear bomb and then died, like, not long after. But just before he died, they more or less uploaded his brain or copied his brain to a chip for, to torture him, I suppose. And then 50 years later after that happened, you're robbing a place, find this chip because you want to sell it, don't know really what it is. And then things go wrong and you have to put the chip in your own head. And then Johnny Silverhand comes out of nowhere and is like, I'm taking over your body, bitch. And yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say like the whole universe is like, it's like a true dystopian future. Like these big corporations are like in control of everything, more or less, and
it's way more grounded than I thought it would be. That story of like a rock star doing this is really silly. Like everyone in this city is a punk, pretty much. I think you meet like a few people who aren't really. Almost everyone has cyberware, like really silly cyberware, like USB cord in your palm sort of thing, and
or
like that.
I want just a head and a torso on a giant terrifying machine.
People would do that.
People would totally do that. Absolutely,
do that.
People
Just
would,
a head
People
on
would do anything.
And do you want it to be your head,
Yeah, right.
Mr. Smasher?
Yeah.
But
I want to be a shark. Put
it's-
my head in a shark.
It's way more grounded and way more adult than I thought it might be. I think a lot of, like, really, when it came out, most of the stuff I saw about it was like, look at this, it doesn't work, look at this.
Yeah, same.
And I saw bits and bobs about its actual setting, and they didn't seem always super positive, talking about, like, oh, it's so sexualized and stuff. But, like, you're living in hell.
Yeah.
You're living in cyber hell.
Yeah.
And most of the people you interact with think that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
And you were talking about that. I think the first day that you fired it up, you were like, yeah, like this is way more dystopian. Like all there's advertising everywhere, and it's all like hyper sexualized.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not sexy. Like it's disturbing.
Yeah.
You know, it's more dystopian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I totally see what you're saying. Versus everything. I guess it's hard. Like I know you're the one playing it, not me, but like listening to you talk about it and looking over your shoulder and stuff, it's hard not to make a comparison to Starfield because that's, you just played it. It just came out. And, I mean, just fascinating to me, like, how, for me, as just watching you play these two games, like just how stark some of the failings of Starfield feel in comparison. The world, the culture, like the feel of the world should be like the number one thing in an RPG. And it was just so like sterile and bland. There's like no, there's no antagonist. There's no real impetus to do anything. And I don't know. It looks like Cyberpunk looks pretty cool overall.
No, I think you got it spot on there with saying that because obviously Starfield wasn't really meant to be dystopian, even though the Earth has been abandoned.
Yeah, it's just,
everyone's over it.
It's a sci-fi. Yeah. So.
But they do try and make different cultures, like Aquila City, which is all the cowboys and stuff. But it's never fleshed out or meaningful as to why it's ended up like that. And Cyberpunk obviously has the benefit of being set mostly in a city, one city. But yeah, it's got a convincing culture.
Yeah.
And you're kind of left wondering a bit like, I wonder what the rest of the world looks like. Because you do meet other people who, you know, it's not like you're trapped there. Like, people come and go. You meet people from all over the world, and they've all got, like, a pretty negative opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
nuanced and...
Yeah.
You know, like, Johnny Silverhand is essentially a Marxist terrorist who wants to destroy this mega corporation.
And also, like, a big narcissist, it sounds like.
But he's a, like, total narcissist. And, like, it's really at least as much about him. Like, really, I haven't completed it yet, but really, he wants to go after the guy who killed him as much as he wants to go after the corporation that employs him. And all of this. And there's a great bit at the beginning where you're talking to a cop who's like, what are you doing in my town? And V calls him, V, the character you're playing, calls him a corporate dog. And he's like, yeah. And it's true, because everything's owned by the corporations in this world. You know, and the very little left of government services are all really controlled by corporations too. But really, V is a corporate dog too. And...
Yeah, it sounds nuanced.
Yes, yeah. And I guess he realises that, like I said, I haven't finished it.
Yeah.
Or he or she. He plays both.
Yeah. Cool.
I basically played as Ben Foster after watching the WoW movie.
Yeah, we did watch that, that's right, yeah.
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 And as well as all that, as well as, you know, I'll talk about this more when I've done it, but as well as, like, really enjoying the setting and a lot of the story, and I think the voice acting's more often than not really good. Although, do you remember that bug I showed you with the guy?
Which one? I did see a couple of them.
The one I showed you where...
oh, yes, where he has two different voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of a sentence.
Yes, he, like, starts a sentence and then stops, and then it's, like, a completely different voice.
Please take this sword.
Yeah, that was so bizarre.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the random twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not without flaws.
No.
Yeah, but...
it's crashed a few times.
You're like, look at these as two twins. The two guys dressed the same face, look the same, and moving at the same time in the same ways. And you know, but I can almost imagine that certain kinds of glitches could, like, work in this universe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's so much weirdness already that maybe seeing two guys who are dressed exactly alike and moving exactly the same way isn't that far-fetched.
It's not game-breaking.
Yeah, that's the important part.
I mean, like I say, I've not encountered many bugs. It's crashed about 4 or 5 times to desktop. But, you know, with update 2.0, I mean, one of the updates was police now pursue you. That's some of the most fun I've had, is running from
Hard
police.
to believe that wasn't in the game before, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But as well as the setting being good, the gameplay is so much more fun than in Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's so much more variety for, like,
There
Starfield's
is.
meant to be, what, like 100 years further in the future than
Cyberpunk.
where Cyberpunk is set, right?
Yeah, but like I say, Cyberpunk is an alternate world where, kind of like by our time, people have already started to do that to themselves.
Okay, I get you, yeah. But it just seems like way more varied, like the types of weapons and, you know, the different, like, cybernetic shit that's out there. Like, it seems way more sci-fi and
the scanner moves in more than
creative.
0.1%.
Oh, yeah, my God. Do you remember when we were playing and, we were like, longer range so I can see further, was my, like, scope or whatever. And you click it, and it's literally like, what the fuck is that? You just spent a skill point to zoom in.
Yeah.
0.01% more. Ridiculous.
Yeah, you can use your scanner and scan people and upload viruses to them and kill them that way without them ever knowing you were there.
Yeah.
You can snipe people. You can go in like a madman with a shotgun.
Yeah, you can hack, like, billboards, right?
You can, and make distractions or blow things up. You can hack cars. You can, like, if a car's following you and you've got the right perks, you can make them do an emergency stop.
Yeah, right.
Things like that.
That stuff sounds way more creative.
Yeah.
And fun, yeah.
And I got into, basically my V is I suppose a bloodthirsty psychopath. Where I discovered the katana, and I ended up getting a really good one. Oh yeah, and that's basically all I use.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Whipping people's heads off.
Yeah. Could have used some more dismemberment in Starfield.
Yeah.
There was none, was there?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Like, what the fuck? From Fallout 4?
Or at least some decompression or something.
Something, yeah. Yeah. You should be able to, if you throw a grenade inside the spaceship, maybe it should blow a hole in the wall and people get sucked out. That could be fun gameplay. Oh, you gotta go get them now. No.
I do like, though, when I'm sneaking in a building on a mission and, like, I've just, like, gone in and just chopped everyone into a heap. And then I'm, like, going down to the next bit, like the basement, and V'll be like, okay, Burnham, I'm in. Okay, keep quiet. Like, no, that,
Right.
that went out the window, like, a good minute ago
The other
now.
room's like...
Yeah. There's people, like, screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Another tiny bit, I was playing a bit where I got out of an elevator and just started blasting people. They're bad guys. And I could hear someone around the corner go, Jesus Christ! And there's no bits like that in Starfield where you feel... The NPCs never really feel like real people. Whereas in this, they kind of, like, sometimes look a bit terrified.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you are a maniac. As always.
Yeah, it looks really fun. I'm definitely going to steal it from you when you're done with it.
Yeah.
Eventually, so...
I don't have the DLC. I'll get the DLC when it goes down in price.
Yeah.
Starfield's the last game I'm going to buy full price. That's AAA. I think.
I get you, yeah. When was the last one?
Before that...
Yeah. Crusader Kings?
No, I didn't buy it new. I didn't buy
that's
it... I bought it on sale.
Crusader Kings 3, yeah. Yeah, that's right, it was on sale. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of the last time that either of us bought a game like when it was new.
Yeah.
I can't think of one. So...
Nope.
You can always wait. But
Yeah. Starfield might be good in 5 years.
Might be. Yeah. Wish we'd bought it then. But,
Well, no. I mean...
yeah, it's alright.
It's alright.
But yeah, so I guess if you played Cyberpunk and didn't like it when it was new, maybe check it out again if you already got it.
If you already own it, yeah, why not?
Yeah, 'cause it looks pretty fun to me.
It runs way better on my computer as well.
Yeah, right.
So there's that. Alright, are we done?
I mean, that's it for our list, unless you can think about anything that you want to chuck out there.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Alright.
Alright.
Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.